guys, welcome to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video. Today I am building another apartment. I actually did not want to build an apartment today. I was building a house but my game crashed, so I lost the entire thing. I had like the entire structure and I was busy decorating and I just, nope. I could have rebuilt the house and I probably will at some point, but it was a little too boring to just start the entire process over again immediately, and I did not have time to postpone making this video at all since I'm starting school this week. And that's actually what I want to talk about today. I'm recording this standing up in the middle of a hallway, and there's a reason for that, but that's a different story for a different day. Probably next week somewhere, hopefully. That's quite an interesting story. Sneak peek of that story is over on my Twitter. If you look through my tweets, you'll probably see something that's quite curious and might give a reason to why I'm standing in a hallway right now. It's my new office, guys. I'm just in the hallway next to a washing machine. Yay! Anyway, today I want to talk about my first day of school because Thursday was actually my first day of school. I'm recording this on Sunday night and I have my first official day of school tomorrow. My official school week, I guess. My first one. And Thursday was more of like an introduction day. But I actually never went to the city where I'm going to school. I'm going to university. I'm not going to tell anyone what I'm going to be studying just because it's quite easy to locate where I am if I tell you that, and I just think that's not something I really want to say on the internet on my channel, which has over 1,000 subscribers. I know there's probably no one watching me in the Netherlands anyway, but it's information that will be there, and if I'm going to be there for 3 years, who knows what happens to my channel, and who knows who is going to see that video in the future, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to be studying. But I am going to a university in the Netherlands, so that's all I can really say. Also, really quickly about the apartment before I dive into the story completely. Sorry, this is all over the place. I am building a black and white apartment, and the story that I have in my head for the person who's going to be living here, it's someone who's quite young, but has very rich parents. So that's why he or she, or they, I guess, they could afford this really expensive big apartments just for themselves, and I feel like their parents are like business people who have their own company, and he or she or they are going to sort of inherit that company in the future and are supposed to be working there and everything. So it's a black and white apartment. I'm probably not the first one who's ever done this, and I probably won't be the last one who's built a black and white apartment, but it's just something that I wanted to do, and I think it turned out really well, and I'm really happy with it. It's something that I usually don't go for, a style that I usually don't go for. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm officially starting school on Monday, but I had my first introduction day on Thursday, but I actually went to the city on Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday, yeah, just to see if I can find my way around it and just kind of, get a feel for what the location is and where everything is and stuff like that. I was very terrified that I couldn't find the university and I would just be late on my first day, and that just scared me so much that I just went there on Tuesday to just figure out where I am and where the station is. And I'm going by train. That's actually quite common in the Netherlands. You probably either move to the city that you're going to university to, or you go by train. I have to travel for 2 hours, so 4 hours in total in one day. That's a little more than someone usually would, but I'm just not ready to move out, so that's why I'm traveling 4 hours a day, which is quite ridiculous, but actually it's not that bad, especially if I just take my laptop. I could literally just play The Sims for 2 hours if I want to. That doesn't sound bad to me. I just get my food out, I get my laptop out, I just either work on something or something for my YouTube channel or something for school, or I just eat and relax and watch some videos on YouTube or listen to some music or maybe do some current household screenshots, Tumblr stuff, or whatever. There's just lots of things that I can do when I have my laptop, and it just goes by really quickly. So it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. So that's good. But back to the first day of school. So my biggest fear on the first day of school, and I feel like everyone has this fear, is not knowing where to go, or losing your way. No, that's not the way you translate that. How do you say that? Getting lost. That's the way you say that. Getting lost, or, not knowing where to go. And I also feel like not knowing anyone, making new friends, that's also like a big fear. So those are like the main concerns. But I was very, very lucky on that first day, because when I walked in, I was walking behind this girl and a boy, and they were talking to each other, and they said something along the lines of, okay, so we need to go to... and then the location that I needed to go to. So I was like, yes, I'm following them. They know where to go. So I just like casually walked after them. I followed them into the building, and they knew where to go. And then they turned around and they were like, oh, are you also going to this location? Yay, we're like in the same class. And I sort of met people like that, and they already knew some people, so I already had like a group of people right when I walked in who knew where I needed to go, who I could talk to. I'm kind of a little bit awkward, kind of a lot awkward, so I don't know how good of a conversation we had, or if they hated me. I don't know. It's a fear of mine. I always think that people don't like me. I know that's not necessarily always true, but I always think that I say stupid stuff and people don't like me and think I'm weird. But I feel like it was okay. I talked to like 30 people. So there's like 100 more to go, or even more. I don't know how many people I can talk to, probably a lot. So I will find some people who I can be friends with, or maybe one of those 30 people will be my friends. I don't know. We'll see. But I was very lucky in that sense that I actually accidentally ran into people who were in the same class as I was. So I guess the structure of the introduction day was, I had like 2 sort of lectures, sort of something along the lines of that. Sorry, my English is not the best at the moment. I'm kind of stressed out, which doesn't help my speaking. So I hope it's okay. I hope you enjoy this speed build anyway. But anyway, sorry, I'm a mess today. I'm stressed out. I have a lot of stuff to do, and there's just stuff going on that I will talk about later, which is messing up my schedule a lot. Anyway, back to the story. Let's calm myself down here for a second. No more freaking out. Just let's talk about my first day of school. So anyway, I had 2 sort of like lecture things where they explained. The first one was just kind of explaining the school and how everything works and how it's different from high school. And one thing that I noticed that they did a lot was talk about like specific terms that you aren't supposed to use anymore. So for example, this is kind of hard to translate, but in Dutch it makes sense. So you can't say school year anymore. You're supposed to say study year, because you're studying, you're not going to school anymore. Which is, they said that so many times. They put such an emphasis on it. I don't know why. I mean, we all know what we mean by that. If I say school year, they all know what I mean. So I don't know why that is so important. I don't know. There's like a lot of difference from elementary school, I guess. Elementary school and high school, and then going to university. There's lots of difference in just like naming stuff. Like teachers have different names in every single schooling you go to throughout the years in Dutch, and they put such an emphasis on it. But I mean, you know what I mean, right? Even if I use the elementary terms, which people will look at me very weirdly, which is not a thing I can say in English, I'm pretty sure. They will think I'm very weird if I do that. But even if I did use the elementary school words, they would still know what I mean. So I don't know why that was so important to them, but I guess it was. So I will not be caught using the wrong words, because they seemed very passionate about it. So yeah, that's really all I got from that. And also that their whole website's computer system thing online is just a mess. And I still don't really know how to navigate it. And they weren't really explaining it very well. They were just like, okay, so here's where you need to sign up to classes. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Here it is, and it's very complicated. But I figured it all out, I'm pretty sure. I hope so, at least. Because in the Netherlands, it's like a system. If you don't sign in for your classes, or like sign up for your classes, you can take tests and exams. So yeah. I very much hope that I did it right. I think I did. It looks like I did. So, yeah. I also got my schedule that day. It's not terrible, but because I have to travel for 2 hours, even starting at like 11 a.m. means I have to get up pretty early, at least a lot earlier than I'm used to, because the last couple of weeks, I don't know, like the last month or something, I've been going to bed at 2 a.m. and getting up at 10, sort of, around that time, or like waking up at 10, getting out of bed at 11. So starting school at 11, like even 11, which is not that early, is still a change for me. It's something I need to get used to. I'm very much a night owl. I would have that reward trait in The Sims. I am very much a night owl. It's getting close to 12 at the moment, and I have to get up at like 8 tomorrow morning, so I wonder how much sleep I'm gonna get tonight. We'll see. I hope it's more than 6 hours. That would be nice. Anyway, so I got my schedule. They explained like the general stuff about the school, and then we got what's it called? What's the word for that in English? Sorry, I just cannot think of the word. Kind of a tour of the campus and all of the buildings and everywhere you need to go and how it works, and the library. So yeah, that was kind of fun. I liked looking around, but we also got all of our books that morning, so I had to like carry around this really big bag of books that were so heavy, and my arms, like I have no strength in my arms at all, so it was tough. It was tough, like, carrying that around. I probably should have just put it somewhere safe. I don't know. Anyway, I think that was the most useful part of that entire day. It was a tour by students who have been there for a while, so they know their way around, and they know, like, the good tips and tricks of university life. So that was very useful. I was very grateful that we got that, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to decipher my schedule and know where everything is. And now I sort of know my way around, and it's actually not that hard. I'm pretty sure. At least it seemed okay. There's like different buildings, but I kind of like that, because once you figure out in what building you need to be, the buildings are pretty small. It's like there's one big building and then a lot of small buildings. So if you just figure out where all the buildings are, you can find your way around, because it's harder to get to find your like actual classroom than it is to find a building, because that's very big and there's like maps all around the campus. So I think I'll be fine. I think I know my way around. I hope so, at least. I think I'll be fine if I just like, I don't know. We'll see. I'll update you guys. Tomorrow's my first day, so like next week I can update you guys on how it's going and if everything is actually okay or I'm like dying. We'll see. But they also kept saying that it's a very hard thing to study and that it takes a lot of time and that you will not have any time to like relax and you won't have time to breathe, and it's just work, and then you'll get there at some point, which for someone who is doing YouTube and is very passionate about it and like it's more than just a hobby now, is like really something I want to put effort into and something I want to keep up. That's kind of scary to hear, because I want to have time to do that sort of stuff. I also have a very big ambition in music, so I also want to have time to do that sort of stuff. So it's kind of scary to hear that every single time, but I feel like they do that at every single university, where they just try to scare the students, which I don't like. I don't like that mindset, but they just try to scare the students into working a lot, because it's kind of a time where you go out a lot and you like drink a lot and there's like lots of social stuff going on, which I will not be partaking in, so maybe I'll be fine. Obviously I will save time on like the social aspects to put into YouTube. Don't worry, I'm like a very big introvert, so I'm not going to miss much. I'll probably have enough social interaction by just going to school. That will be like plenty, more than enough for me to just have enough like social interaction. I really don't like going out. It stresses me out. I think it's kind of boring. So yeah, don't worry about me in that aspect. I would much rather play The Sims than go out. So I hope I will save time like that. Obviously I will be traveling a lot, so we'll see. I just like Newt's commander said his name. I really like this quote. Worrying only means that you'll suffer twice. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. From the Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them movie. It's a quote from that movie. And I really like it because it's actually really true. Because right now I'm suffering because I'm worrying about it. And if it actually happens, then I'm worrying twice. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm worrying for nothing. And I'm suffering for nothing. And it will not have any point at all. So yeah, that was kind of my first day. I think I met a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people. They seemed nice. I think I will sort of fit in there. We'll see. We'll see. I have a hard time fitting in at school, so maybe it will be terrible. And I guess, like, advice from me, you just have to remember why you're there. You're not there to make friends. You're not there to be social. It's a fun bonus thing, but you're there to learn. Especially if you're going to university because you actually chose to go there to learn. So, yeah, I think that's it for this speed build. So I hope you like my story. I hope it wasn't as much of a mess as I think it is. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye!